everyone. My name is Chebbi. I am a senior teacher of English at Lake Pioneer Prep School. Today, we are going to correct together the 2019 National Exam of English, the technical section. This is part of the series of test corrections prepared and designed by our senior ELT inspector, Mrs. Lame Atwi. This video should be of a particular interest to those of you who are going to sit for the national exam. What we hope to do here is help you prepare well for the test and provide you with the tips and tricks that will help you get through the test successfully. So let's get started.
When sitting for the test, there are some things that you need to keep in mind. You know that the test is composed of 3 parts: the reading comprehension part, the language part, and the writing part, and you have 1 hour. So you need to devote the proper time for each part. Remember to break up the time in advance. It's better to focus on one section at a time. Managing your time will take off so much pressure and it will stop you from making mistakes or getting confused.
While sitting for the test, read the text carefully and go through the questions slowly. Do not skip words and do not assume that you know what the question is asking. Watch out for any key words. For the reading comprehension part, for example, read the questions first so that you know what to look for in the text. Take a few minutes after each answer to make sure you're on the right track. Verify that you followed all the instructions. Don't rush. When you feel that you've finished your exam, put your pen down to review your work. At some point during the exam, you may get stuck or you may not think of the correct answer right away. Don't panic. Move to the next question or activity. Don't waste your time. Then go back to them when you feel ready to answer them.
Now let's start with the reading comprehension part. Let's read the text. Excessive internet use by children can lead to violence and health problems due to lack of physical activity. Children may also become less able to communicate well with friends and family. Timothy was 12 years old when his parents bought him a computer for his room, thinking it would be helpful to him with his homework. As he was entering junior high, Timothy took to the internet immediately and soon discovered chat rooms and emails. At first, Timothy's parents watched over his shoulder frequently to make sure he was using the internet safely. After a little while, though, they stopped monitoring his online habits. Soon problems arose. Timothy began to spend all of his free time in his bedroom. He would turn unfriendly whenever his parents asked him to spend some time with them. Timothy became an internet addict. His grades dropped from A to D, and he got angry whenever he was away from his computer.
To answer the comprehension questions, always go back to the text and try to find the right justification. The first comprehension question is generally a summary of the main idea of the text. So what we have here is a multiple choice question. Let's read the question. It says, tick the right option. The text is about a boy who spends much time, A, with his parents, B, on his computer, or C, with his friends. Now, to find the right answer, let's refer back to the text. Timothy's parents bought him a computer. After some time, he became addicted to the internet, he became unfriendly, stopped spending time with his parents, and his grades were negatively affected. Now, from the text, you know that Timothy spends much time not with his friends and not
with his parents, but he spends much time on his computer. Let's look at the second comprehension question. Are the following statements true or false? Take the right box. A. Timothy's parents bought him a computer to email his friends. Let's go back to the text and check. Let's read. Timothy was 12 years old when his parents bought him a computer for his room, thinking it would be helpful to him with his homework as he was entering junior high. So this indicates that the sentence is false. Let's look at the second statement. Timothy got bad grades because of the internet. Let's look at the part in the text. Soon problems arose. Timothy began to spend all of his free time in his bedroom. He would turn unfriendly whenever his parents asked him to spend time with them. Timothy became an internet addict. His grades dropped from A to D, and he got angry whenever he was away from his computer. So, this statement is true.
Let's carry on with the third comprehension question. What do the underlined words in the text refer to? In this type of question, you need to read what comes before and after the underlined word. You have to pay attention to the nature of the word. Is it singular? Is it plural? Is it an object? Etc. So it in paragraph 2. Let's read the sentence. Timothy was 12 years old when his parents bought him a computer for his room, thinking it would be helpful to him with his homework. Now, it is singular. It refers to a thing or an animal. It doesn't refer to a person. In this sentence, it refers to the computer. Them in paragraph 3. Timothy began to spend all of his free time in his bedroom. He would turn unfriendly whenever his parents asked him to spend some time with them. Them is plural, so we are going to look for a plural noun. It refers to his parents.
Question number 4. Find a word in paragraph 3 meaning nearly the same as went down. Let's look at paragraph 3. Timothy began to spend all of his free time in his bedroom. He would turn unfriendly whenever his parents asked him to spend some time with them. Timothy became an internet addict. His grades dropped from A to D, and he got angry whenever he was away from his computer. Went down is a verb in the simple past, so we need to look for a verb in the simple past. Now, let's have a look at the verbs we have in the paragraph. Arose, began, asked, became, dropped, got, and was. Now let's focus on the meaning. Which one of these verbs means went down? Dropped is the correct answer. Now let's go to question number 5. Fill in each blank with one word from paragraph 2. When children play blank games excessively, they cannot do their blank. So let's go to paragraph 2 to find the missing words. Now, in this type of question, you need to write only one word from the paragraph in each blank. Try to analyze this sentence to know the form of the missing word. You need to check if you need a verb, an adjective, or a preposition, for example. Pay attention to the meaning. When children play games, which kind of games do the children play? Computer games. They cannot do their. There is a possessive adjective, and we need to find a noun. Let's focus on the meaning. So when children play computer games excessively, they cannot do their homework. Now let's move to the language part. First language question, fill in the blanks with 5 words from the list below. Before we start answering this first question, let's have a look at some general recommendations. Read the paragraph a few times before you start filling in the blanks. Analyze the sentence to know the form of the missing word, to know if you need to use a verb or a noun or an adjective, etc. Focus on the meaning of the word and the sentence. Let's read the words in the box. Constructing, maintain, carving, of, skills, to, training. By using your hands and powerful welding equipment, you can make metal products of all types and sizes. Welders use different ways, blank, producing cars and ships, building electronics, and blank, bridges. A short, blank program can teach you how to, blank, and repair welding equipment. Learning those vital blank can prepare you for hands-on careers in sectors like mining and shipbuilding. So for the first blank, we need to use a preposition. Of producing. So to doesn't work in the sentence. We can't use it. Building and. We need to respect the parallelism. So verb plus ing plus and plus verb plus ing. We can use constructing, carving, or training. Let's focus on the meaning. Bridges. So we can't use training bridges or carving bridges. So we have to use constructing bridges. A short training program can teach you how to plus verb, maintain and repair welding equipment. Learning those vital skills can prepare you for hands-on careers in sectors like mining and shipbuilding. Now let's carry on with the second language exercise. So the second language exercise is a matching exercise. You have to match sentence parts. So what you have to do in this type of exercise is read all the sentence parts a few times to understand the main idea of the paragraph. Remember, the sentence parts in column A are in order. Focus on the end of the part in A and the beginning of those in B to check if they can be matched. So what you have to focus on is grammar and meaning. Write the letters in the space provided. Be careful with this type of exercise. Don't use arrows. And you have to know that in column B, there is one extra answer that you're not going to use. So the first sentence is, scientists are developing new materials for. So the end of the sentence is for. Now, what you need to look for in the second part is a noun or pronoun or a verb plus ing. Now, there are three sentences that can match. B, painting cars. C, the surface of roads. Or E, solar energy. Now, you have to focus on meaning to know which one to use. So, the part that matches the first sentence is C, the surface of roads. Scientists are developing new materials for the surface of roads. Second sentence, in 50 years from now, these roads will store. What will these roads store? So we have to look for something, a noun. So these roads will store solar energy. Third sentence, cars will use this energy. We still have three options to choose from. Where else are the cars going to use this energy? Is it painting cars? No, because it's going to be a meaningless sentence. Is it on the road? Of course not, because it's also meaningless. So cars will use this energy instead of petrol. Sentence number 4. Car batteries can be recharged from chargers. Where are those chargers? On the road. Now let's move to the last language exercise, which is a multiple choice exercise. Circle the correct option. Kathy Gillard has always wanted to be a truck driver. When she passed her first driving test, she was the only girl. People laughed at or of or on her. We generally say to laugh at someone. So at is the correct answer. Because there were no women doing or done or do this job. There were no women doing this job. They said, "Oh, you're a girl and you're driving a big lorry." A lot of teasing went on her where she is working or was working or will work. In the first part of the sentence, we have a verb which is in the simple past. This indicates that the events happened in the past. So we need to go on using the past where she was working, because we cannot use the present progressive here, and we cannot use the future since the sentence is in the past. So we use the past progressive, was working. Kathy was happy doing her job. She said, "There are a lot more things to forget or to enjoy or to avoid." To is always followed by a bare infinitive. Let's focus on the meaning here. So, a lot more things to enjoy. About being a lorry driver. People think that women are going to be a minority in this industry. It's a job made only for men. But, and because Kathy believes that there is no reason women can't do it. Now, there is a contrast in the sentence here. The first part of the sentence, it's a job made only for men. And Cathy believes that there is no reason women can't do it. So to express this contrast between the two parts of the sentence, we have to use but. We cannot use and because and is used for addition. We cannot use because it is used for reason. So to express contrast, we use but. Now let's move to the last part of the exam, which is the writing part. This part is out of 5 marks. Let's read the topic together. Because of the high cost of water and electricity, you have decided to write an 8-line letter to your friend Asma, in which you give her tips on how to save water and energy at home. Write your letter in the space provided. Now, first things first, read the topic many times. Then underline the key words. Now you have to identify the genre of your writing. Are you going to write an article? Is it going to be an email, a letter, or a Facebook post, for example? Why are you writing? What's the purpose of your writing? And to whom are you writing? And you have also to identify the style. Is it going to be formal or informal? Now let's underline the keywords together. Because of the high cost of water and electricity, you have decided to write an 8-line letter to your friend Asma, in which you give her tips on how to save water and energy at home. Now, what's the genre? It's a letter. You are going to write to your friend Asma. So the style of this letter is going to be informal, since Asma is your friend. Now, what is the purpose of your writing? The purpose of your writing is to write some tips on how to save water and energy at home. So let's start planning our letter. In the introduction, you are going to include greetings and the purpose for the writing. In the body of the letter, you are going to write tips to save water at home and tips to save energy at home. And in the last part, which is the conclusion, you are going to write closing remarks and you are going to take leave. Now, let's start generating some ideas about saving water. How can you save water? At home, turn off the tap when brushing your teeth. Take shorter showers. Fix leaks and dripping taps. Use a bucket instead of a hose to clean the car or water the garden. So here in the picture, you can see what a tap is, what a hose is, and what a bucket is. Some ideas about saving energy, like turn off the lights when leaving the room, switch off electronic devices when not used, not to leave them on standby mode, and use energy-saving light bulbs. So if you don't know what energy-saving light bulbs are, this is a picture of it. Now, after planning your writing, you can start writing your first draft. So in the first draft, what you do is develop your ideas into full sentences and connect them using appropriate linkers. Some linkers you can use here are for enumeration. For example, you can write to begin with, second, third, last but not least. For addition, you can use moreover, besides, in addition, not only, but also. And to conclude, you can use to conclude, all things considered, overall, in brief, for example, in a nutshell, etc. When giving tips in your writing, you can use the imperative, verb, or don't plus verb. For example, take a shower, don't use a hose. For giving advice, you can use you should or shouldn't, you ought to, you'd better, plus bare infinitive. To express obligation, use must plus bare infinitive. Now, let's check out this sample together. Dear Asma, how are you doing? I hope you are fine. As you know, the costs of water and energy are getting higher and higher. This is why I'm writing to give you some tips on how to save them at home. Actually, saving water can be ensured through simple changes. First, make sure to turn off the tap when you brush your teeth. Second, take showers instead of baths. Third, fix any leaks and dripping taps. Last but not least, use a bucket when washing the car. Concerning the consumption of energy, you should turn off the lights when you leave the room. Besides, you ought not to leave any device on standby. You must switch it off when you don't use it. In addition, you'd better use energy-saving light bulbs instead of the ordinary ones. Overall, anyone can save a lot of water and energy by following these useful pieces of advice. Please try them out and write back to tell me about your experience. Take care, yours, Asma. Now, in the first part of our writing, you can see the purpose clearly expressed here. I am writing to give you some tips on how to save them at home. So this is why I'm writing to give you some tips on how to save them at home. You can also see the greetings. How are you doing? In the body of the letter, you can see the tips to save water. We've included the tips using linkers. Here we have actually, first, second, third, last but not least. Then tips to save energy. So to write about saving energy, we used concerning the consumption of energy, besides, and in addition. To conclude, we used overall and closing remarks. Anyone can save a lot of water and energy by following these useful pieces of advice. Please try them out and write back to tell me about your experience. Now, for taking leave, we used take care. Don't forget in your writings to punctuate and capitalize the letters appropriately. Revise your letter to correct the mistakes. And that's it for our exam. Thank you for watching and good luck. See you. Bye.